Perfect. Okay. So we're just moving the hips from side to side to begin with. Just moving the hips from right to left. So the idea is that this is what we call our frontal plane, our side to side motion. And you're just going to feel that stretching out different areas in either the waist or abdomen or in the legs, because we're using our pelvis to drive the movement. So it's going to affect things above and below. We're just going to move everything from side to side. And then what we're going to do today is we're going to alternate between being upright and folded forwards. So what I recommend is either using a wall, if you're not feeling 100% sort of super mobile first thing in the morning. And now what we're going to do, so I'll demonstrate. I'm going to put my hands on here, and then I'm going to do the same. I'm going to move my hips from side to side. So you don't have to go into a full forward fold. It's early in the morning, probably haven't moved much. So giving yourself just a little bit of a higher platform, you're just going to feel a little bit more comfortable. And the idea is that we want to feel comfortable and we want to feel safe in the movements so that the nervous system knows that we're okay. If anything feels too intense, that's when the body can sort of feel a bit, ooh, I don't want to do this. So we're just going to take it nice and slow and nice and safe. Lovely, so just side to side. Lovely, perfect. We're going to stand up again in exactly the same. We're going to go side to side standing. Perfect. Lovely, so just side to side. Excellent, cool. And this is going to be quite a leisurely session today. So just getting everything moving, everything feeling nice. Do a couple more of these, and then we're going to fold over again, so you can either put your hands on a box or on your chair or on sofa or bed or desk, whatever is handy. Or if you're starting to feel more comfortable, you can go fingertips towards the legs and take your hips from side to side or on an object in front of you and side to side. So the main thing that we're changing here is whether we're standing upright or folded forwards. Folded forwards is going to get more of a stretch into your lower backs, and standing is going to have you more upright, and both are very, very useful. Lovely. So just giving you time to really relax and just enjoy these movements. And just feel any sensations and just notice the difference between the standing and the folded positions. So for me, I know that my folded position feels more comfortable than my standing position in my left hamstring. And it's just interesting to observe these things. Lovely, we'll do two more. Perfect, lovely, perfect. And then we'll come back up to standing, and this time we're going to add rotation in. So what we're going to do is just twist. You can let the arms flop from side to side. Lovely. So this is a nice twisting motion. In Chinese and sort of Eastern philosophies, the idea is that this stimulates your digestive system and your kidneys. So there's an idea that any kind of rotation of the torso is really good for digestion. Perfect. It should go quite nice in the back and the spine. The idea is that by gently allowing your arms to hit your kidneys, that they stimulate your kidneys and help them to work more effectively. Lovely. So just do a few more of these. So we're twisting through the hips, but we're also twisting through the feet and through the spine. So everything's getting a bit of a kind of, what's the word? Bit of movement, bit of opening up. So nothing's left out. Lovely, perfect. We'll do a couple more of these, and then we're going to fold forwards and do the same. So we're just twisting. Perfect. Now I'll demonstrate this one in two ways. So what we're going to do now, fold over, hold onto your elbows, and take a circular motion around the feet. Or sideways on. Again, you're just twisting your body around your feet that will move your hips. So whichever one feels comfortable. If that doesn't feel comfortable, you can come up onto your thing and just hold onto it and reach around behind you. Hold on and reach around behind you. So that's going to be a way of still getting the movement, but it will feel less intense. So again, just listening to your body and doing whatever feels right for you today. We'll do a couple more. And really let the head relax as well. If you can, let the neck relax. Let go of all of the tension in the neck. Lovely. You can relax there. We'll gently roll up. And we're going to do both of those again. So we're going to do these next few movements twice on each, just so you can really relax and unwind into them. So just twisting and twisting. Lovely. Perfect. Excellent. Do a couple more. Excellent. Beautiful. And then we'll fold over. So again, you can use your prop to just twist the one arm and twist the other arm around, or you can hold onto your elbows and swing around with your head nice and relaxed. Lovely. Perfect. We'll do two more. Perfect. And then we'll gently roll up one by one through each vertebrae. Just gently rolling up, back to standing. Perfect. Next one we're going to do, we're just going to move the hips forwards and backwards in space. So we're just going to push the hips back or fold forwards, and then we're going to push the hips forwards. So with this one, that position might feel very, very nice. Pushing the hips forwards can sometimes really make you very aware of your lower backs. So we're just going to take it through a range of movement that feels comfortable for you. Just gently pushing the hips back and gently pushing the hips forwards. Lovely. We'll do a couple more of these. And forwards is anywhere from here. So just come to wherever you feel comfortable. If that's just straight up standing, that's perfect. Because what happens is, as we move back, we're flexing, and as we come forwards, we're extending. That would be extended, and that's also extending. So the idea is that the difference is that we're extending as we do this, and basically when the joint is more open at the front than the back, that would be extended. The goal isn't to come into this full-on intense position here. It's just to take our bodies through a range of movement where they're flexing and extending. I hope that makes sense. It took me about 6 times of going on a course to get my head round. So we're just moving the bones above the hips and the bones below the hips to get some movement here. Perfect. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come down again, and we're just going to fold forwards a bit more and extend a bit more. So we're going to fold and bend through the spine, and then we're going to come forwards and just push the chest forwards, getting an extension through the back. So again, the hips are getting a lot of flexion here. The stuff is starting to extend around. And the idea of doing this one is because your lower back is basically because of where your hips are, what it does is it takes your lower back out of the equation, and this will start to open up your upper back and stretch through your glutes. So just do a couple more of these. Another option for this one is you can fold forwards, you come into your yoga flat back, fold forwards, yoga flat back. We just do 2 more. And 1 more. Perfect, lovely. Then we're going to go back into the first one again. So we're just going to fold forwards and then push the hips forwards and just observing how that feels. So for me, that now feels easier coming forwards. And as I push my hips forward now, I don't feel that in my lower back anymore. And the reason that that can be is because we've opened up through the upper back. So the lower back isn't taking the brunt of the movement. So just do a couple more of these in whichever position feels good for you. And last one. Perfect, very nice. And then we'll do the same again. So again, you can either have the hands resting on your prop and you can just fold forwards as far as you can. And then you're pulling your chest forwards. You can push your hips forwards as well and lean forwards into it to get that lovely extension through your upper back. So you should feel all of your muscles in your upper back all kind of switching on. And then we fold and relax. And pull the chest forward and extend. We'll do 4 more of these. Perfect. 3 more. Two more. And 1 more. Perfect. Very nice. Awesome job. Now what we're going to do is we're going to work on a little bit more extension of the hips. So there's multiple ways of doing this. Option number 1 is you can stand with one leg back behind you. And you can either have the foot flat on the floor, spun out to the floor, or up onto the ball of the foot. And because that leg's behind you, it's going to automatically stretch here. So that's one option. The other option is if you want to, you can come into a kneeling position. And again, to protect your lower back or to not feel your lower back, you can basically tuck your bum under. Or you can come into that position where you lean forwards into it. So all of these are all our starting position. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start lifting my arms. So in any of these positions, and I'll demonstrate all of them, we're just going to reach the arm over and reach the arm over. From the front, it looks like this. So I'm reaching my right arm up and over to the left, and I'm reaching my left arm up and over to the right. So I can do that in this position. I can do it in this position. And I can do it in my standing position as well. So whatever's going on with your body, choose the right one for you. And then we're just going to do a nice little reaches up and over to stretch out through the front of the back leg. I'm going to choose this one because this is the one I feel the most. We're just going to do a few more of these on each side. Getting a lovely stretch. Very nice. Perfect. And now I'm going to give you another option. I'm going to stay on whichever leg you're on. Now what you can do is you can lean forwards into the movement and then lean back and straighten the front leg and relax forwards. And I'll show you how to do this for both positions. Letting the hips come forwards, letting the hips come back, straightening and folding. So you can go fingertips on the floor to give you some balance. You can hold on to something around you. Standing, what this will look like is basically pushing into your front knee and then taking that back foot flat on the floor. You can lift up through your toes and lean forwards. Lean forwards into it and stretch and forward. The other option is you can use a box or something in front of you, and you can bend the knee here into your nice big stretch, and then you can straighten through that front leg. So feel free to unmute yourselves if you have any questions, but we're just going to do whichever one feels comfortable. And what you may find is that you have to slide your foot back and then slide your foot forwards if you're holding on to a box or a desk or a sofa. Lovely, perfect. We're going to switch over and do the other leg. So now we have the other leg in front, other leg behind. And again, you can either stand here and reach the arms overhead, or you can come into a kneeling position, arms overhead, or dropping the hips forwards, arms overhead. So whichever ones feel good. Just do a few of these on each side. Lovely, 2 more. And 1 more. Perfect. So this one, you can either stay in a kneeling position and just gently move in and out of these 2 movements, taking them as slowly as you like. You don't have to bring the hands off the floor, so you can straighten the leg and bend the leg, straighten and bend. So that's the one option. The other option is you can bring that foot by the side of something stable. You can bend and straighten, bend and straighten. So again, just listening to your body and doing whichever one feels right for you today. And you might find that one side feels different to the other, and that's fine. Lovely. And that one can be done at any height. So you can do it here, with the hand up on the wall. You just want something that's going to give you just a little bit of stability, so you feel safe to do it. Lovely, perfect, very nice. Cool, I'm going to come over and just see how everyone's getting on. Feel free to grab yourself some water. Cool, and then, perfect. Feel free to unmute yourselves if you've got any questions. How was that for everyone?
Hi, really good. Thank you, Aimie. So yeah, great.
Cool. Perfect. Awesome. And you felt okay with all of those, Linda?
Yes, yeah, I got all of them. Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. Perfect.
I figured I would take my video off now as well. So.
Cool.
Okay. Cool. Thank you.
Perfect. Cool. Perfect. And Charlotte, those all felt okay for you?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Oh, cool, brilliant, awesome. And then Mum, did those all feel okay for you?
I was obviously doing the gentler one.
Cool, but that felt good?
Yeah, nice and stretched, thank you.
Perfect, awesome, brilliant. Cool, perfect. So what we're going to do next is, I'll just mute everyone again. Perfect, okay. So hopefully your hips are starting to feel a bit more mobile. What we're going to do is I'm going to show you a few different ways of stretching them more deeply and in different ways, different directions. So we're going to have a go at doing our windscreen wiper. Again, we've done these quite a few times. I'll demonstrate all of them. You choose whichever one feels right for you. Feel free to have a play. Some days different ones feel better. So Our nicest option, or probably the most enjoyable option, is lying down on the floor, arms out to the side. You can use a pillow under your head. You take the feet nice and wide, and we roll the knees from side to side. This is going to mobilize the hips, and it's going to mobilize the spine. So that's the nicest way. I'm going to come this way, just so you can see what my legs are doing. So instead of my feet being together, my feet are as wide as I can physically get them. So I can't actually take my feet any wider, and that's where we start the movement. If that feels uncomfortable, bring them just a fraction closer. So the idea is that it should feel enjoyable. So that's a nice lying down position. That one's going to feel the nicest and the most comfortable. If you want a bit more of a challenge, you can come upright and you roll the knees from side to side with the hands behind you. So my hands are back here, my fingers are pointed away from my body. That's going to feel more comfortable in my wrists. So that's our other option. We can also come upright and roll the knees from side to side, whichever one feels good for you. And as I said before, some days different ones will feel better. So just go with whichever one feels right for you today. I'm going to have a go at the lying down one. That one feels best for me. And we're just going to rock and roll. So what we're doing now is we're taking the intention that we're going to really let our nervous systems relax. So we're just going to gently roll from side to side for a little while, giving us time and space to relax our breathing, make our breathing slower and longer. If you've got any nice music you want to put on to actually make this even more enjoyable, go for it. So just gently rolling the knees from side to side. And I'm going to keep on saying this probably most sessions, but the idea of mobility is its flexibility with strength. And so what's happening is, rather than us just holding a position, by us gently moving in and out, different tissues and muscles will be contracting and lengthening. So what we're doing is we're going through these repetitions of these movements so that we're strong from the beginning of the movement to the end of the movement. And it's going to make us feel more flexible, but we're going to be strong and flexible in it. So every single part of the movement will feel strong and safe. So you could stop at any moment and hold your position. So you don't have to go to your full end range, you can hold it here. So the idea is that we want to be strong from start to finish, as opposed to sometimes with flexibility, there's an element of having to get someone to help you into a position. And if you have to get someone to help you into a position, then you're not strong the whole way through the position, if that makes sense. Lovely. So the idea of not using sort of any props to sort of help us, you know, like people use yoga straps to pull their legs in different positions. Now, that's all great, but what we're focusing on is having the strength the whole way through. Perfect. And then what we're going to do, whichever position you're in, we're going to bring the feet together, and then we're going to roll the feet and the knees together from side to side. So you can do that lying down. You can also have it doing it seated. So feet together and we're rolling. So it's kind of like we don't have two individual legs, we have a mermaid tail. And it just changes the movement. So you can do this one lying down, or you can do it seated upright. You can have a go, I haven't actually tried this before, but you can have a go at doing it with the hands off the floor. And again, you'll be working different parts of your core. Lovely. So just have a little play there. whichever way feels good for you. And just noticing how that feels. Does it feel easier? Does it feel harder? And neither is right or wrong. Lovely. Very nice. Perfect. From there, we're going to have a go at just coming into what we call a straddle position. So a straddle position is basically this, where you sit with your legs wide. You can do this sat on the floor. You can do it sat on a few pillows or anything that raises you a little bit higher. So I'm going to demonstrate a few options. So that's one option. The other option is I can sit on something a little bit higher and take my legs out to the side. My other option is I can sit on a bit even higher, like a chair. So I can sit on a chair and just take my legs as wide as they feel comfortable. If sitting with your legs straight doesn't feel comfortable, you can just take your knees wide and have your feet flat on the floor. So it's basically just sitting with the legs wider than you would normally. I'm going to demonstrate here today, but choose whichever one feels comfortable. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to use our arms to drive a few different positions. And what you don't want to do is you don't want to go as wide as you can physically go. You want to go just a little bit less. And then what we're going to do is we're going to reach one arm forwards and down towards the ground, and the other arm forwards and down towards the ground. So the focus is hips, but what this is going to do, this reaching motion, what this is going to do is it's going to cause all of your back and spine to flex. So you can get a really nice deep stretch into your back. It should feel really good. Lovely. And we're just reaching forwards and reaching forwards. So that should feel really nice. You may feel a stretch around your inner thighs. That's absolutely fine. If it's too intense, just bring it in a little bit closer. So just do a few of these. Lovely. And then we'll do both together. Perfect. Lovely. So both arms are reaching forwards together. Very nice. Lovely. And then what we're going to do is we're going to reach our arms forwards in front of us. So we're just going to reach forwards and reach forwards. We'll do a few of these. Your lower back won't get as much flexion on this one, so you may feel this in your hips a little bit more. Perfect. If anyone feels that they get any discomfort in their neck, just look down to the floor and that will help take the pressure out of the neck. Lovely. And then if that feels okay, we'll reach both arms forward. Lovely. So as you do this, your core is having to work. The muscles in your legs are having to work. So everything's having to work to stop us from either falling off the floor or to basically move us in and out. And all the while, we're working on our mobility and our strength through the whole movement. Perfect. Now we're going to reach the arms up. So we'll reach the one arm up and then the other arm up. Lovely. If you're holding on, if you're sat on something, you can hold on to it just for a little bit of extra stability if you like. Perfect. Very nice. We'll do a couple more of these. If you're doing this one sat on the floor, this one's the hardest. So you sat up on a chair feels a little bit easier. Sat on the floor feels really challenging unless you're super, super bendy. Perfect, very nice. And then if it feels comfortable too, we're going to reach both arms up and overhead and back down. This one again can feel a little bit uncomfortable because it's quite intense. What happens is when we do one at a time, you can sort of escape and find a position where you feel safe. When you do this one, it's more intense. So feel free to do less or to go a bit slower or to have a break in between. Perfect, lovely. And then from there, we're going to reach our arm back and behind us. Back and behind us. So you can imagine that there's a giraffe behind you and you're reaching back to stroke it on its head, reaching back to the giraffe. So what this is going to do is this is getting a type 1 movement. This is one right rotation and one left lateral flexion and vice versa. So reaching up and back is going to mobilize all through our spines. Lovely, very nice. And now we're going to reach back and down. So this is imagining that there's a little dog on the floor and we're reaching back to scratch the dog on the head, reaching back to scratch the dog on the head. So back and behind. Perfect, lovely. We'll do a few more of these on each side. And again, always feel free to unmute yourselves if you need to ask anything or if anything doesn't feel comfortable. This is your session. Lovely, 2 more. And 1 more. Perfect, very nice. And now what we're going to do, we're going to bring our feet together and we're going to go for a more ladylike position. Feet together as close as they feel comfortable, and we're going to do all of those again. And this again is going to have a different effect on your hips. So we're going to reach forwards and down. You don't have to go completely together, you can go a little bit wider, completely reaching forwards and down, forwards and down. Again, if that feels uncomfortable in the back of the neck, feel free to just look down towards the feet and tap your chin. Very nice. We'll do a couple more of these. And then we'll do both together. Perfect. This one may feel harder because you have less space. So where our legs were wider, we were able to reach forward for our legs, whereas our legs get in the way this one. Perfect. And then we're going to reach forwards and in front. Forwards and in front. And again, I do get issues with my neck, so I'm going to tuck my chin. Lovely, tucking the chin. Very nice. And then we'll do both arms together. Lovely, 1 more. Perfect. And then we are going to reach the one arm up. Reach the one arm up. And again, just noticing how this feels. I find this one feels a lot more challenging with the legs together, whereas legs wide felt much more comfy. So it's just observing and noticing the difference. Perfect, very nice. We'll do 1 more on each side. Lovely, and then we'll do both arms together. Lovely. Perfect, and then we're going to reach back to stroke the giraffe. Reach back to stroke the giraffe. Lovely, you can either keep your head forwards and just reach the arm back and behind you, or you can turn to look back behind you, whichever feels best. Lovely. And then we're going to reach down to stroke the tiny dog on the head. Reach back, stroke the tiny dog on the head. Lovely. Perfect. 1 more on each side. Perfect. Lovely. From there, we're going to take the feet wherever they feel comfortable. And this time, what we're going to do is we're going to lean our body over the leg. So we're going to lean the body over the right leg, back to center. Lean the body over the left leg and back to center. So again, you can do this seated on the floor with the legs extended in front of you, or seated on a chair. So this one is just going to look like this on your chair. On the floor, it's not going to be such a wide position. It's going to be a more narrow position where you're going to reach over and reach over. You might feel that in your bum, you might feel that in your hamstrings. So just do a couple more. Very nice. Perfect. Cool, we'll do one more on each side. Lovely. Perfect. Wherever you are, we're going to take your elbow, we're going to rest it on that side leg. We're going to pull the elbow up and back, switch over, pull the elbow up and back. On a chair, it's going to look pretty similar. You're going to have your elbow on the leg, bring the elbow up and back, and up and back. Perfect. Lovely. So just do a few of these on each side. Very, very nice. Excellent. So we're really opening up the backs, but we're also moving through the hips as well. Elbow back. And elbow back. Lovely. So what we're going to do now is we're going to have a go at our kind of thread the needle position. So we're going to look at getting the leg up onto the knee. So you can do this one seated. Again, I'll give you some options. Seated, it's just going to be a case of lifting up your leg and bringing it over the foot, letting it sit there for a moment, relaxing it back down, and then bringing the other one up and over. Get that nice stretch and bring it back down.
Amy?
Yes.
Hi, Amy. Is there an alternative? Because I find that exercise really hard.
Yes. Yeah, I'll show you that one next.
Thank you.
Okay, no worries. So that's the option for seated. If that feels hard, what you can do is take the one leg, rather than being here, so it'll be a bit lower, so that might feel easier. So having less of a bend in the knee, taking the leg lower, will cause you to have less of a big range of movement to bring up. If that feels really comfy, what you can do is in that position, you can fold forwards over it, back to center, switch it over, fold forwards. So this is our movement for putting our shoes and socks on, basically. The other option is you can do it lying down. This will make it a little bit easier. And then what you can do from here is you can choose where your legs go. Bring the foot over, bring it back down, bring the foot over, drop the knee and bring it back down. Some people will find that they'll put their leg there and that feels horrendous. So just take your movement as it feels comfortable. So again, the idea of this is that we're not necessarily just holding it in a position, but what we're doing is we're getting strong through the whole movement. Again, if you want to do this on the floor and that feels quite easy, what you can do is bring the leg over, use the strength from your legs and your core to bring the leg in, bring the leg down, switch it over. Let the leg bring everything in and back down and switch. So I'm not using my hands for this. It's just using the strength that you have available to yourself. And we're just working with where you are. So just listening to your body, just doing whatever feels good. This is quite horrendous for some people. So just doing what feels good, and I'm going to come in and check on everyone. Cool. How's this feeling for everyone? You can just give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down if you like. Cool. Perfect. Brilliant. Lovely. Very nice. So we're just going to do 2 or 3 reps of each of these. So this is in yoga, your pigeon pose, very similar to your pigeon pose. But what you find with your pigeon pose is that pigeon can feel quite intense. So some people just love it because they're really flexible, but pigeon can be quite horrendous. So this is why we're doing our thread the needle this way. God, lovely. Very nice, cool. We'll do one more of those on each side. My counting, as always, cannot be trusted. Lovely. And Mum, how's that feeling for you? Okay, perfect, lovely. Okie dokie. So now what we're going to do is we're going to have a look at getting a little bit more extension into the hips, and there's a few different ways of doing this, so I will show you. So the nicest option is holding on to something and just pushing against it. So I'll show you on here. I'm going to hold on to the side of the treadmill. You can hold on to the wall, and what we can do is just take one leg behind you and just sort of push the back foot into the floor, and you should feel a nice stretch here. So that's one way of getting extension, and that should feel quite nice. And that's also going to feel nicer in the lower back. So we can just alternate, and you can just sort of push into the wall or push into whatever you've got handy. So that's one way of getting extension. That should feel great in the lower back. If you'd like to feel more extension, you can kind of lie on your stomachs and you can push the thighs into the floor and pull up. So this is more like your kind of upward facing dog in yoga. You'll feel that stretching into your abdomen and into your hips. You can squeeze your bum and push your thighs into the floor, and then you can relax. And then what you want to do is relax. Take a little breather. You're very welcome to come into a child's pose in between to give your back the opposite. And then you can again come down, gently lift up, pushing the thighs into the floor, getting that lovely extension through the hips. But this one's very, very intense. So if that one doesn't feel good or you just don't fancy giving it a go, we're going to stick to this position here. You're just reaching that back leg back as far as it feels comfortable to get that extension there. What you can also do here is you can move, I don't know if you can see that very well, move your hips from side to side, and that will get more of a stretch as well. But what we're doing is we're moving in and out of it. So again, you can just move in and out of that, and again, that's going to open the front of the hips. So we'll just do maybe 2 or 3 more on each side. Lovely. Cool. Once you've done those, we're going to have a little play of our squat positions. So again, everyone's going to be different. So some people will be able to squat down onto their feet like this. This is, they call it a Hindu squat. I think they call it, I'm sure they call it a Hindu squat. Basically, it is just a very deep squat. It's something that people sit in a lot in Asia. So if you feel comfortable in this position, you're very welcome to. This took me about 6 months to be able to get. So the way I got it was I would come down and I'd have one foot on the floor, I'd have the other foot here, and I'd use my fingertips to just move me from side to side. And after doing that every day for a few weeks, eventually I was able to very, very slightly put both heels on the floor and I'd come out of it. So if you can't do it today, it doesn't matter. If it takes you 6 months to get to, if it takes you a year, it doesn't matter. So that's one option. If you think, blimey, I can't do that one, then what we can do is we can come into your squat position, wherever you feel comfortable. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start to play with that movement. So if you are comfortable in this position, you're welcome to do all of these moves here. If you're not, you can just join me up here and come into whichever position feels good. And what we're going to do is we're just going to reach the hand forward, reach the hand forward. Again, listen to your body. If stuff feels horrible, feel free to straighten that fully in between. But if you feel comfortable to, you can just hold your squat here and reach. Hold your squat here and reach. Lovely. So it's going to start to burn a little bit. We're going to reach forwards and reach forwards. This looks a little bit like martial arts. Lovely. We're going to reach up and up in that squat position. Lovely. We're going to reach one arm forwards and then the other arm to the side. One arm forwards, one to the side. Lovely. So my right arm goes to the side, my left arm comes forward, switch over, right arm forward, left arm out to the side, right arm forward, left arm to the side. Perfect, very nice. We're going to stroke the giraffe, stroke the giraffe. Lovely. We'll do a couple more of these on each side. Very nice. And then we're going to stroke the dog's head, stroke the dog's head. Lovely. Couple more of these, and then we're done on this squat. And one more. Perfect. We'll stand up, give your legs a shake. And then we're going to retest your squat again and see how that feels. So you can retest your normal squat or retest your Hindu squat, see how that feels. Hopefully it should feel a little bit easier. Cool. Perfect. Lovely. So now what we're going to do, you have two options. Either, if you love pigeon pose, so for the yogis, you are very welcome to come into a pigeon pose. So I'll demonstrate. Pigeon is where you take the one leg in front of you and you basically fold over it. So you come into this position, you can fold over and rest here. I'll show you on the other leg. So my right leg comes forward. Eventually, the goal is in yoga to have the leg completely horizontal rather than bending back here and then coming over it here. So that's our pigeon pose. If you don't fancy pigeon pose, then what you can do is lie on your back. You can go feet together, let the knees roll out to the side, or feet wide and let the knees roll together. Knees in towards each other is going to be the most comfortable of these. Knees out is going to be intense on your inner thighs, and you might just need to very, very gently and slowly come out of it at the end. And your pigeon pose, we're going to do a couple of breaths on each side if that is your choice. So I'm going to go feet wide, knees together personally. And all we're going to do is we're just going to relax for the last few minutes of the session. So in whichever position you found yourself in, you want to be in a position where you can breathe comfortably and mentally go somewhere else. So we're just going to relax here, and we're going to either take 10 slow breaths in knees together or knees apart, or 5 slow breaths on each leg for your pigeon. So you get to control the moves. We're just going to relax and just breathe. Lovely. We're going to have about 5 minutes in total. We're just going to relax here. If at any moment you feel uncomfortable, feel free to just come into your yogic shavasana, which is just arms and legs spread. We're just going to relax and do absolutely nothing. Just really allowing yourself to just relax and breathe. And whenever you've had your 10 breaths, or you've done your 5 on each side for your pigeon, you can gently start to come out of your position. Have a nice big stretch. And then when you're ready to, you can find yourself back up into a seated position. If you are still in your pigeon and you need to finish off, that's absolutely fine. Perfect. Cool. And then again, we can just unmute ourselves. So if you guys want to unmute yourselves, and then we'll just see how everyone's feeling now.
Super, thank you very much. I noticed yesterday that I have much more movement in my shoulders.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I really know it was. I think it doubled the movement.
Wow.
Open up the chest and yeah, so perfect. Thank you so much. The movement.
Things are coming, Linda.
Yeah, so
that's brilliant. I'm really, really, really happy for you. That's awesome.
Thank you. Have a lovely weekend. Yeah.
And you have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you maybe Tuesday.
Yeah. Okay.
Perfect. Brilliant. Take care, bye, Linda.
Bye.
Cool. How are you feeling, Charlotte?
Good, thank you. Relaxed as well, actually. Yeah.
Awesome. How were the hips and everything feeling?
Yeah, fine. I love the fact that you can do a different version of something, because this morning I was really tense and so my movement wasn't great. But yeah, I like the fact that you can do different movements depending on how you're feeling. So that was great.
Yeah, awesome. And I think that's the thing as well. It's, I don't know, like the whole fitness industry is about pushing. And it's amazing how sometimes when you take it back to actually the one that feels nicest, you actually get more benefit from it.
You do, and that's what I didn't like when I used to do yoga and Pilates in Evesham. They would, you know, as you said, they'd come around and they would try and force you into these positions. And for me, that's just pointless, because it doesn't move my back. So, you know, and then you feel like you failed and you feel like you haven't had a good session, you haven't done anything. So yeah, it was nice today. Thank you.
That's awesome. Cool, fantastic. Did you want to do the HIIT class as well?
Please, if you're running it today.
Absolutely, perfect. What we'll do is we'll come off this one and we'll jump on to the next one, just in case anyone else turns up for that one.
Okay, great.
Perfect, cool. I'll see you in a second. Bye. Cool. How are you feeling, Mum?
Fine, thank you. Very good.
Cool, perfect. Did that feel about right?
It felt harder than the Wednesday and Monday. So,
this group has requested hips. So yeah, it's a bit harder.
that's fine. I mean, I'm just glad that I can join you.
That's awesome.
All right then, I'll see you later.
Okay, cool. I'll see you in a little bit. Bye.
Right. Bye. Can you get rid of me?